Hey everyone, I'm Olivia Parker. I'm 25, barely scraping by in a tiny apartment while chasing my dream of becoming an investigative journalist. It's not easy, let me tell you, but I've always been a fighter, even when the odds were stacked against me. Growing up, everything was always about my sister, Megan, Megan this, Megan that. My dad, Richard Parker, the big shot businessman, couldn't see past his precious little princess. Me, I was practically invisible. I remember one time I got straight A's on my report card. I was so excited to show him. I ran into his office waving it around like it was a winning lottery ticket. You know what he said? "That's nice, sweetie. Did you see Megan's new dance routine?" Typical. Megan twirls in a tutu and dad throws a party. I bust my butt to get into college. Crickets. But hey, I've got my people. There's Zoe, my ride or die best friend since high school. She's the one who keeps me sane when the family drama gets too heavy. "Liv, you're worth 10 of Megan, and your dad's an idiot for not seeing it," she once said, over cheap wine and even cheaper takeout. Then there's Sam, my mentor at the local paper, a grizzled old journalist who's seen it all. "Kid, you've got the nose for news," he said to me just yesterday. "Keep digging, and you'll go places." Speaking of digging, I think I'm onto something big. There's this construction company that's been winning all the city contracts lately, and something smells off. I'm determined to find out what's really going on. I was at the office late last night piecing together some leads. It was well past midnight when I finally called it a night. As I drove home, my mind raced with possibilities. This could be it, my big break. Watch out, world. I muttered to myself, grinning at my reflection in the rearview mirror. Olivia Parker is coming for you. Little did I know the world had other plans. As I pulled into my apartment complex, I spotted Megan's car, parked crook, taking up 2 spaces, classic Megan, probably stumbling home from another party. I shook my head. Some things never change. I trudged up to my apartment, fumbling with my keys, when my phone buzzed. It was Dad. Asterisk Olivia, your sister needs a ride home from the police station. Go get her, asterisk. I stared at the message, my blood boiling. Of course, Princess Megan needed saving again. And of course, Daddy Dearest couldn't be bothered to do it himself. Asterisk story, Dad asterisk, I typed back. Asterisk give got an early morning. Maybe you should call her and Uber asterisk. I turned off my phone before he could reply. Tomorrow was a new day, and I had a story to chase. Little did I know, it would be a story that would change everything. That night, as I drove home from a late-night stakeout, my mind buzzed with the leads I'd uncovered. Then suddenly, headlights blinded me from behind. Before I could react, a car slammed into my rear bumper. What the hell? I screamed, gripping the wheel as my car spun out of control. The next few moments were a blur of screeching tires and shattering glass. When everything finally stopped, I found myself in a ditch, my car crumpled around me. Pain shot through my body as I tried to move. I fumbled for my phone, my hands shaking as I dialed Dad. "Dad, I've been in an accident. My car's totaled. I need help." "Olivia, it's 2 a.m. Can't this wait until morning?" "No, Dad, I'm hurt. I'm stranded." "Look, I'm busy. Call a tow truck or something." The line went dead. I stared at my phone in disbelief, tears welling up in my eyes. Hours later, I found myself sitting in the ER, nursing a sprained wrist and a bruised ego when my phone buzzed. It was Zoe. "Girl, where are you? I've been trying to reach you all night." "So, you won't believe what happened." I told her everything, the accident, Dad hanging up on me, the hours I spent waiting for help. "That's messed up, Liv, but wait, there's more," Zoe said. "Your sister got arrested last night for DUI." "What? Megan?" I blurted out, completely stunned. "Yeah, and get this, your dad bailed her out immediately. Hired some hotshot lawyer too." My blood boiled. Of course, Princess Megan gets the royal treatment while I'm left to fend for myself. "I'm coming to get you," Zoe said, her voice firm. "We'll figure this out together." True to her word, Zoe showed up, helped me gather my things, and drove me home. As we pulled up to my apartment, there was Megan, stumbling out of a cab. She looked worse for wear, but definitely not like someone who'd just spent the night in jail. "Hey sis," she slurred, swaying on her feet. "Rough night." I ignored her and went inside. The next few days were a blur of insurance calls and pain meds. But as soon as I could think straight, I threw myself back into work. If my family wasn't going to have my back, I made damn sure my career would. I started digging into the car theft. Something didn't add up. Why target my beat-up Honda when there were plenty of nicer cars around? I called my contact at the police station. "Hey, Mike, any leads on my car?" I asked. "Sorry, Olivia, it's a dead end. Car was found torched on the outskirts of town." "Torched? That's weird, right?" "Yeah," Mike said, lowering his voice. "Between you and me, it's fishy. Matches the MO of a theft ring we've been tracking, but we can't prove anything yet." That was all I needed to hear. I started connecting the dots, following the trail. It led me straight to a local construction company, Bedrock Builders. As I was compiling my notes, a name jumped out at me, and my blood ran cold. Listed as a major client of Bedrock Builders was Parker Enterprises, my father's company. I sat back, mind reeling. Was this why Dad was so dismissive when I called? Did he know something about the theft? Just then my phone rang. It was Sam from the paper. "Kid, you better get down here. That story you've been working on, it just got a whole lot bigger." I grabbed my coat, my heart racing. Whatever was going on, I was going to get to the bottom of it, even if it meant taking down my own family. When I stormed into the newsroom, Sam was waiting for me, a grim look on his face. "Your hunch about Bedrock Builders? It's just the tip of the iceberg. Look at this." He handed me a stack of documents. As I flipped through them, my stomach dropped. "These are my father's company records." Yep, and they don't add up. Not by a long shot. The next few days were a whirlwind. I barely slept as I pored over the numbers, trying to make sense of it all. But the more I dug, the worse it got. Embezzlement, fraud, money laundering. My father was neck deep in it. And Megan. Her wild lifestyle, the constant emergencies that needed Dad's financial intervention. It was all a smokescreen. A way to explain away the missing money. I confronted Megan at her apartment. She answered the door looking even worse than before. "What do you want, Olivia?" "The truth, Megan. For once in your life, just tell me the truth." Her face crumpled. "I didn't know at first. Dad would just ask me to go out, be seen at expensive places. Then it got more complicated." "Complicated how?" I asked, my voice shaking. "He'd give me credit cards, tell me to max them out. Said it was for tax purposes. I didn't ask questions." She looked down, ashamed. I felt sick. "Did you know about the DUI? Was that part of the plan too?" Megan burst into tears. "I'm so sorry, Liv. I never meant for it to go this far. Can you forgive me?" "Forgive you?" I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "You and Dad left me out in the cold while you were living it up on stolen money. Money that ruined people's lives." "Please, Liv," she sobbed. "We can fix this. We can go to Dad together." "No," I said, shaking my head. "I'm done with both of you. I'm going to expose everything." Back at the office, Sam and I worked around the clock, building an airtight case. We cross-referenced bank statements, interviewed former employees, and tracked down shell companies. "You sure about this, kid?" Sam asked as we prepared to go to print. "This story, it's going to blow up your whole family." I took a deep breath, staring at the headline on my screen. Parker Enterprises, a legacy of fraud. "My family blew itself up, Sam. I'm just reporting the fallout." When I hit send, I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. Whatever came next, at least the truth was out there. The story broke like a tsunami. Within hours, national news outlets picked it up, and my phone wouldn't stop ringing. Dad tried to do damage control. He called a press conference full of righteous indignation. These baseless accusations from my estranged daughter are nothing but a desperate cry for attention. That's what my father said in his press conference, trying to deflect the truth. But the evidence was undeniable. Former employees came forward, corroborating everything in my story. It wasn't long before the FBI got involved, raiding the offices of Parker Enterprises. I watched it all unfold from a distance, feeling strangely detached. This was what I wanted, right? The truth out in the open. My career skyrocketed. I became the go-to journalist for corruption stories. I was invited to speak at conferences, offered book deals. But the success felt hollow. One night, Megan showed up at my apartment looking lost. "Dad's assets are frozen," she said, her voice shaking. I don't know what to do, Liv." "Figure it out, Megan," I replied coldly. That's what the rest of us do. She looked at me, eyes pleading. Can't we just start over? Be sisters again? I stared at her, really looked at her, maybe for the first time in years. No, Megan, we can't. Some bridges, once burned, stay that way. Months passed, and Dad's empire crumbled. He was indicted on multiple charges: fraud, embezzlement, tax evasion. The trial was a media circus, and through it all, I kept working, kept digging, kept exposing the truth. Then, out of nowhere, I got a call from the police. Miss Parker, we've arrested the guy who stole your car that night. Turns out he was part of a larger theft ring. Thought you'd want to know. I thanked him and hung up, feeling dazed. It was like closing a chapter I'd forgotten was still open. A year to the day after my story broke, I found myself on stage, accepting the Pulitzer Prize for investigative reporting. As I stepped up to the microphone, I held the award tight. This is for everyone who's ever been told their voice doesn't matter. For everyone who's been pushed aside, ignored, or silenced. Your truth matters. Your story matters. Never stop fighting to be heard. As I stepped off the stage, clutching my award, I felt something I hadn't expected: freedom. I had lost my family, but I had found my voice. And that, I realized, was worth everything. Now we want to hear from you. If you were in Olivia's shoes, would you have exposed your family's crimes, knowing it could destroy your relationships and potentially ruin their lives? Or would you have tried to handle it privately to protect them? This is a tough moral dilemma with no easy answers. Some might argue that family loyalty should come first, while others believe that exposing corruption is always the right thing to do, no matter the personal cost. What would you do in this situation? Would your decision change if it wasn't your family but close friends instead? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your perspective on this complex issue.